And emotional flexibility is something that I think is, again, often just, uh, I guess most people have never even considered that. And I kind of stumbled into this concept at one point. Um, but it's become really important to me. And the idea of emotional flexibility is just this, that for most of us, we are always reacting to the same things in the same ways. So, for example, I was a very meek and shy person for a lot of my life. And I would have told you all kinds of reasons of why I do this. It's like, oh, I'm just being polite, I'm being nice, I don't want to impose on people and stuff like that, right? So it's like I'm telling you a story that implies I choose to be like this. But the truth is, this is the only way I was capable of being. I did not have a choice, right? In every situation, it's like you have a multiple choice menu. All of the options are grayed out except be meek and shy. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm choosing this. No, you're not choosing this. This is the only choice you have, right? And similarly, on the other end of the spectrum, maybe someone's like an asshole all the time. Every single time they're slightly emotionally rustled, they lash out. They start shouting. They start, lashing out at other people. The thing is, that's the only choice. They always do the same thing, always in response to the same thing. There's no emotional flexibility. And where this becomes like, as soon as you think about, well, okay, I'm in situations where I want a certain outcome that's maybe in conflict with someone else, right? And this becomes a trap because look, there might be situations where just being like, okay, I'm just gonna stand back and let this play out. That's the best choice. In terms of like, if we think of it completely from a utilitarian standpoint, right? There are things I want and there are things I want to avoid. Here's a situation that's unfolding. The best choice is for me to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna let this play out. I'm gonna basically be meek and shy, and that is most in line with my goals. But there are situations where you have to be able to turn on the asshole, right? There's
Turn
situations
on the asshole.
where you have to be like, okay, now it's rare, I would say, but sometimes the way to get what you want is to shout at someone, right? And like I said, I think it's rare, but if you don't have that option, that is limiting your freedom, right? And so it's much better to be assertive enough and to be in control of a situation enough that you can say, if I wanted to, I can use aggression in this situation to get a point across, but I don't have to, right? I actually have a choice.
100%. I mean, I've got a personal example of that too. It's the meek, because I used to be a chronic people pleaser. I used to be afraid of confrontation. I'm still not completely comfortable with it, but I used to shy away from any confrontation, however necessary it might have been at the time. I wouldn't confront anyone, and I would then the rational part of me would kick in to justify it. And around this time, I discovered The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and while I still maintain that is like one of the most influential books I've ever read and ideas as a whole, at that time, what that did was serve to enable my people-pleasing, confrontation-averse tendencies by giving it a framework with which it can find a home. So it's like, oh, I'm not going to confront that person because my emotions are mine to deal with. I'm just going to breathe through it. Everything's okay. Everything's like present. It's like, and that was a kind of repression of my aggressive tendencies. And eventually that came to a head and it was like, look, there were certain situations in my life that emerged where it's like, look, the best response is direct confrontation with a problem that involves other people, that involves you being assertive and everything else. And at the time, it wasn't as if I was choosing to be calm and choose, as you say, like choosing to be allowing of this and etc. Because it wasn't a choice, because I couldn't have done anything else. So that's not freedom either. So the real freedom came when I started to practice and integrate these assertive qualities. And so now, when a situation emerges that's better served by just breathing through it and allowing this, it feels like a choice. It doesn't feel like I'm powerless here. It feels powerful, even though I've chosen to not react. Because the point is, it's a choice at that point.